Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32, and good morning to our EAS friends across the country. We're so glad that you have joined the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. I am your host. That's right, your host of this podcast. My name is Robert Wakefield. Thank you so much. That's right. All right. Enough of that silliness. Let's get on. We got a great show lined up for you. Let's go ahead and pour that first cup. On Thursday, September the 18th, the Nashville Post Office Credit Union is turning up the sweetness for Rice Krispie Treat Day. Stop by for a free treat and a warm welcome, because here it's not just about snacks, it's about service. Whether you're looking to save smarter, borrow better, or just connect with folks who care, we're here for you. Come celebrate with us and see how we've been making life a little sweeter for 100 years. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup this morning, we're going to talk about something that is SPACtacular. Oh, me. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. We're talking about the Supervisor Action Committee, or SPAC, and it's this September's Drive for Five event. And Branch 32 is kind of leading the way on this. And so I want you to grab your cup of coffee, your cup of Joe. Let's kick back and let's get into the September SPACtacular. But first of all, let's break some stuff down. Let's talk about what is SPAC. Well, it is our political action committee for the National Association of Postal Supervisors. It's how we as supervisors and postmasters and managers, it's how we have a voice in Washington. Now, it's through SPAC that we get the support from lawmakers who understand our challenges and understands the challenges that we face, and who will advocate for policies that protect our jobs and our benefits and even the future of the Postal Service. It's not just about politics, it's about representation. SPAC helps ensure that when decisions are made on Capitol Hill, our concerns are heard loud and clear. Now, last week we talked to Bob Levy, who is the legislative director for NAPS, and he told us a little bit about how these funds are spent. But, you know, the thing is about SPAC, we're not buying votes. We're building bridges. And that's the key thing that we always have to remember about that. And we have to discuss why that matters. I know you might be thinking, does my contribution really make a difference? And the short answer is absolutely. You know, SPAC funds go directly toward building these bridges and building these relationships with these key decision makers. That means that when the legislation comes up that affects pay, or legislation that affects working conditions, or retirement, which is near and dear to my heart, we've got allies in the room. And let's face it, in today's political climate, that kind of support is more critical than ever. And plus, here's another thing. It's not just about, big wins. It's about, keeping the conversation going, making sure that supervisors and postmasters aren't overlooked. and showing that we're united and we're engaged. All right, let's talk about the fun part. It's the Drive for 5 campaign. What Branch 32 decided to do is we wanted to kick off the September SPACtacular and make this a month-long push to get our members involved and energized. Now, the goal is to get at least 5 new contributors signed up in our branch. And the goal is to get that in every branch of America. If we could just get 5 people from every branch to do the Drive for 5 campaign, what a difference that could make. I did some quick math, and trust me, this, I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going to share this what I found. We've got about 265 branches. That's the number I use. So 5 from each of those branches would be 1,325 people. Now, if you multiply that times $5 a pay period, times 26 pay periods, you know how much money that would be in a year? $172,250.49. Okay, I made up the 49 cents part. But that's the goal. We want at least 5 new contributors from every branch in the United States of NAPS. And why 5? Because momentum matters. If we all pitch in, even just a few bucks a month, we can build a stronger, more influential SPAC. And trust me, lawmakers will notice when we show up in numbers. And signing up is easy. And you can use, you don't have to just do 5 if you don't want to. You can do more if you'd like. There's 5 or 50. It does not matter. But what you can do is you can go to napsbranch32.org. That's the branch website. And you will go to important documents. And right there on important documents, you'll see the worksheet that you need to use for the Drive for 5. So go there, check it out, and let's get some bragging rights going. Let's see which branch could do the most. That would be fun. And it would be great. So we want everyone to be doing this. Now, here's the question. How do you get involved? You just go to the website like I talked about, and you fill out that form. That form is a worksheet is what it is. It's from naps.org. It's the worksheet that you can use in order to make the allotment contributions. All right. Hey, are you already a contributor? Well, then spread the word. Challenge your coworkers. Share the podcast. Let's make the September SPACtacular one to remember. So here's some final thoughts. A SPAC is how we protect our future. It's how we stay visible. It's how we stay vocal. And it's how we stay valued. And the Drive for 5, it's just our chance to show up and show out. So let's make it spectacular. Let's drive for 5. Let's keep pushing for the respect and recognition we deserve. Because let's face it, this is a difficult time for the Postal Service in America. And we need to be ready at all times from a legislative standpoint to be ready to support those candidates and to support the people who will help us deliver for America. Wow, that sounded really good. All right, that's going to be the first cup. Let's go ahead and pour that second cup. Want your savings to do more than just sit there? With a money market certificate from the Nashville Post Office Credit Union, you'll earn competitive returns while keeping your money safe and sound. You'll enjoy higher dividends than traditional savings, flexible terms to match your goals, and it's federally insured to give you peace of mind. It's smart, secure, and built for postal professionals who plan ahead. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union. People helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, I want to mention that today is September the 13th, and I just thought I would tell you. And I will be going to the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Georgia Bulldogs in Neyland Stadium. And I'll be attending this event with one of my dearest friends. And this friend, I would have never known who he was had it not been for Naps. Kevin Proctor has been a dear friend of mine for years now. I don't know how many years, but a lot. And when I first met Kevin in Naps, we immediately hit it off. And while we were both working, we would call each other and laugh, and we would complain together. We would vent together. But then we would always find something funny to laugh about. And it just made such a difference in our postal careers. And today, Kevin and I will be traveling to Knoxville to meet other Naps friends that I met through this great organization. I'll be meeting Larry Shropshire, who is the president of Branch 245, Chris Quinn out of Branch 97. These are friends that I made simply by attending meetings, going to state conventions, going to national conventions, and friendships developed. If you're not going to your NAPS meeting, you are missing out on perhaps the greatest thing about NAPS. Sure, we're an organization that tries to, help people that get in trouble, and we're here to make sure the Postal Service does what they're supposed to do as best we can. But the greatest benefit of being in NAPS is the friendships. The friendships that you develop by attending those meetings, going to those conventions, going to trainings together, that's where the value is. It's been amazing to watch Branch 32 grow in the past year or so. We're up well over 200 members, and we continue to grow because of friendships, because of the fact that we enjoy being around each other. Now, we don't always agree, and that's okay. But the friendships that we develop are just absolutely fantastic. I cannot thank Kevin and Larry and Chris enough for being my friend. And we're going to be screaming our heads off at today's game. Now, if you would like to know where we'll be sitting, we'll be in orange. So go in there and check that out. We will be dressed in orange, and we will be having the times of our lives. All right, so that's going to do it for today's episode of the Saturday Cup of Joe, presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. Now, be sure to share this podcast with all of your friends. That's the call to action. And also sign up for the Drive for 5 at the September SPACtacular. We really want to make a difference in the month of September. We're going to be talking about it all month long. So you might as well join us and be a part of it. Thanks so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. And remember, every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupofJoe@gmail.com.